Hi, you're watching act.tv. We are here with Elisa Filippone of Angry Tias and Abuelas of the Rio Grande Valley. We're here on the bridge that connects Brownsville and Matamoros. Elisa, can you talk about what we're doing here today and some of the bags that you have?
Yeah, well, this is the Gateway Bridge or the Puente Nuevo in Matamoros, and I packed 3 backpacks full of mittens, bandanas, winter hats, and sweatpants and sweatshirts for children, some heavy socks that have been donated to my group to distribute them because it's 57 degrees today. It's gonna be 42 tomorrow.
Can you talk about how long you've been doing this work here on the bridge?
We started early June.
And how long have people been camped out? And we're going to cross the bridge and talk to some people when we deliver the supplies. But how, has it been months? Has it been weeks? How long are people here?
When the separation of families, when that policy was made public by the current administration, that's when CBP started placing officers at the top of the bridge, at the middle point where the physical border line it is that divides the two countries. So since then, asylum seekers that used to be able to just walk in and now being on American soil ask for asylum, now they have been stopped there midpoint, and I've witnessed this, that they tell them don't cross that line, don't set foot, because then I'm going to charge you with illegal entry. I witnessed one of those acts. So they're sent back and they're processing very few a day. And some days they don't let anybody in. So obviously asylum seekers keep accumulating in Mexico. And that's where we are right now. We're going to first visit El Puente Viejo and we'll come back here.
Okay. And I just want to show for people who are watching. So this is the river, the Rio Grande River. Across is a border wall, and you said that the border wall was built by Bush, but that they added wire.
The concertina wire is new as of 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, that section of the wall has been in place since President George W. Bush.
Okay, so we're going to cross over and talk to some folks who are on the bridge. We actually haven't crossed yet into Mexico.
Yes, no. Where those blue signs are, that's where we should stop this, and then we take after Mexican
Okay.
immigration's post. But see, I don't see any line of people with visas crossing. Mm-hmm. It's Saturday morning. Maybe by the time we come back, there will be a line. The asylum seekers are down at the skirt of the bridge, off sight. Mm-hmm. Nobody can see them there if you're not paying attention. And actually, if you don't know where they are, people would miss them. And that started happening, I want to say, in August, because before that you would be able to see the asylum seekers up there at the midpoint in line and sleeping on the sidewalk. I brought water or food or something to asylum seekers there, and then one day they were just removed. I actually happened to witness that. A man with a white polo shirt that said Seguridad Privada in the back just went up the bridge, told them all that they needed to get off the bridge, brought them down. They put them in vans. It was only 7 up there and 7 down at the skirt. And they took the 14, they put them in vans, and they took them away. They gave no explanation. We had no idea where they went. Rumors or word got back to us that some of them were taken to Casa del Migrante, and some refused to go there, and they're scattered throughout the city. Some ended up at the other bridge. Casa del Migrante, their mission is to assist deportees. They're working at full capacity, of course, but now they've taken the extra task of also housing asylum seekers. And I really don't know how they're doing that job, because just deportees and plus about 300 asylum seekers, it's an enormous task.
Okay, so it looks like
Let's stop
okay.
filming.
So we're gonna stop filming. and then we'll start the camera up again. So we've crossed into Mexico and we're now at a second bridge. There are 3 bridges in Brownsville. We're at the B and M bridge, and I think it's Brownsville and Matamoros.
Yes, and it's known as El Puente Viejo here. Yeah, so we're starting to walk up to the bridge, to the midpoint, and we already saw that there are some asylum seekers. There is no cover here, and asylum seekers are allowed to just stay here and sleep here. This bridge is closed to pedestrians from 10 a.m. to 6 in the morning, and every time I've asked if they let them sleep here, they said yes. So I'm going to ask that question again. I'm also going to look at their faces to see if I recognize anybody that I assisted down at camp, and ask if anybody has crossed since Wednesday. Wednesday was the last time I was here.
And you mentioned that this gate that closes is new, and also that this sign is fairly new.
Yes. Yeah, as of, I don't know, 2.5 months ago, they installed this pedestrian gate and they started closing it at night. At the very beginning of that development, asylum seekers were asked to leave the bridge. And now what I hear is they're actually letting them stay up on top of the bridge. And once you have your spot up on top of the bridge, you just don't move from there. So people don't go shower. They wait for food there. It's hard for them to make it down to the bathroom and quickly, because it doesn't matter if you're the 3rd or 4th in line. They might call somebody from down the line and skip people in front. There's no method. So that's why they don't want to leave their post here once they make it up here.
Okay. Should we start walking?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to film, and we're going to be careful because Customs and Border Patrol, I am going to, once we get closer, turn the camera away. They don't have, Elisa said since we're on the Mexican side, they don't have any jurisdiction. They can't really ask us not to film. They can't, but they can try to intimidate or ask us to delete any footage. So we're just not even we're not gonna film them. I'm gonna place the camera facing the opposite direction. So here's the Rio Grande River. We're on the Mexican side again, Matamoros. On the other side is Brownsville, Texas. We're in southern Texas, and then you can see covers because it is drizzling. It's cold. It's like in the 50s here. So I'm going to turn the camera away from Customs and Border Patrol. So Elisa's come here. She told me she's been coming every single day. She knows the asylum seekers. I want to remind people it is completely legal under international law to come to a port of entry and request to seek asylum. As a lot of people say, even Trump says, we want them, but we want them to come here legally. Well, that's just a lie. It's totally, completely legal. So I'm not sure if she's filming a child, so I just want to be careful, but let me see.
Con fianza o con algo, pero no están pasando tanto tiempo en los centros de detención últimamente. Claro que no sé, no te puedo garantizar nada, ¿verdad? Pero bueno, ¿y tu esposo?
No, él estaba.
Ah, ok. ¿Y quién te dejó pasar aquí arriba?
La cola me dejaba. La cola, o sea.
Ah, qué bien. Uh-huh. Y él se quedó allá. Sí.
Sí, él se quedó allá.
Ahorita para allá, ¿qué más les hace falta? ¿Les han traído de almorzar hoy?
No,
¿Hoy no?
solo la cena nos trae.
Ah, ok. ¿Qué les traigo entonces? ¿Les traigo pan, les traigo cajeta, les traigo unas tortillas? ¿Qué les traigo? ¿Eh? Sí, pero yo creo que sí les traigo algo, porque eso es estar sin comer todo el día. Voy a llevarla a ella al campamento y luego me voy al Oxxo y le subo algo, unas tortillas calientes y cajeta a lo mejor. ¿Ustedes tienen? ¿Este chiquito le han traído leche? ¿Está chiquita? ¿Usted tiene ahí todavía? Ok. ¿Agua? Agua tiene.
So Elisa is asking right now about food, if people have eaten, what has been brought to them.
3, 4, 5, 10. Ok, está bueno. Al ratito vengo. Okay.
Elisa, can you talk about what you were speaking to the asylum seekers about?
Yeah, so she is pregnant. She's 20 years old, 6 months pregnant. And, hola chiquita, ¿cómo estás? Ahorita te traigo unas tortillas. And so I met her down in camp. And, ¿qué tal, cómo le va, hermano? So her husband is not there with her. I recognized them. And she said that the other women and the other people in camp allowed her to take that place in line because she's pregnant. So the husband staying behind, respecting the normal order, but they gave her, so the same asylum seekers gave her priority because of her state. And when we noticed that she was pregnant, we tried to figure out if once she gets across, she would be able to get some medical follow-up for her pregnancy, and she won't. She won't get any of that at detention center. Over here on the Mexican side, Cruz Roja Mexicana has been following that. They gave her an ultrasound, and there's a doctor at the shelter which she was assigned before. She spent a month at the shelter, and then she came to the bridge on Monday. And by now, Saturday, she's already on top of the bridge. That's really good news. But so we figure out that here on the Mexican side, having Cruz Roja Mexicana keeping an eye on them, she was better off than try to skip her across or anything. So she's waiting in line, pregnant and all. And I was talking to her. They reported also, because I asked, that breakfast hasn't come. It's been lacking lately. We just need to figure out what the volunteers in charge of that need, if they need money or if they need more hands to do that, and I'll make some phone calls. So right now we're gonna go down to camp, and then I'm gonna run to the store to get some tortillas and cajeta and something for them to have breakfast. They really didn't ask for anything. They said, don't worry about it, but there are 2 children there and the pregnant young woman, so they need to eat something.
Okay, so we're gonna turn off the camera right now. We're gonna go into a camp, and we will be right back. Okay, so we are here inside of an area where they have allowed some of the asylum seekers to camp out. It's covered. There's a bathroom. And so we want to talk to people about what their experience has been here. And so Elisa's basically asking people if they would be open to talking.
¿Tú sí?
Yo que otra vez.
Pero
¿Ese para qué canal es? ¿Para Venevisión? ¿Para Caracol? ¿Para cuál? Tengo que informarnos primero. ¿Para qué canal?
Para Facebook.
Facebook. Ay,
Okay.
no, así no.
No, pero te vas a
Así
poner
no,
verde.
muchacho.
Muchacha.
Bueno, no.
Así nos
Facebook
afecta.
muy comprometedor.
Seguro, nos afecta mucho.
Ah, bueno, entonces no.
No, en Facebook.
Allá afuera los muchachos sí. En el Facebook no. Facebook
So-
muy
¿Traigo
comprometedor.
las medias?
En Discovery Channel.
Déjame ver. algo.
NFN, esa pero Facebook.
Aquí hay una reportera. ¿Quiere que le digan de su experiencia? Sí.
Sí.
Sí, okay.
Muchacha. Ella se viene por la selva.
Ay, gracias a Dios. Iban a
I wonder.
Cruzando la selva.
So we
con
were told that we
caimanes y
were not
jaguares
allowed
y
to
todo.
film in here, and I've kind of snuck my camera in. Elisa, should I go inside? Because I'm not really supposed to be.
¿Podemos hacerlo adentro?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go inside. Basically, the Mexican police told me that I was not allowed to film, but we snuck in we brought the camera in. We're just gonna film inside.
Si quieres, yo te puedo ayudar con el micrófono.
Traigo gorras, pero parece que están bien de
Sí,
gorras. Y
de
hasta que se
gorras.
vayan para arriba.
El gran problema es para no mojarnos.
Sí.
¿No traes capas allí?
No, no traigo capas. Sí me van a llevar unas en la tarde y alguien viene en la noche. Alguien va a traer
Unas capitas o sombrillas.
capas de sombrillas, es lo que me hace falta.
Sí.
Mira, por allá adentro está una bolsa.
¿Y ustedes por qué no hablan?
Hey, you can
Ya yo la otra vez
translate.
tuve que
Okay, so Elisa's going to translate for us.
Bueno, yo me hago una pregunta
¿Te
y yo
ayudo?
respondo. Ok.
¿Te ayudo? ¿Cómo te ayudo?
No, yo voy a...
It's okay.
No, está bien.
Ah,
yeah.
está bien entonces.
Okay.
Y yo si les preguntas en inglés, voy a tú me traducir para ella.
Can you talk about what has your experience been like here?
¿Cómo ha sido su experiencia aquí, ahorita en campamento?
Bueno, aquí bastante aceptable. Un poquito tardío todo, pero bien.
You want me to... this is acceptable. It's slow, but it's good.
How long have you been here?
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene aquí?
Aquí llevo desde el lunes.
Since Monday.
And where is she from?
¿De dónde es usted?
Cuba.
La mandaron al albergue, a Bugambilias o a Casa del Migrante? Were you at one of the shelters?
Estuve en un hotel esperando que esto avanzara y ya de ahí vine para aquí.
Okay. So no, I was at a hotel and then came straight here.
What is her hope for getting into the U.S.?
¿Cuáles son sus ideas de esperanza o qué espera cuando pase a Estados Unidos?
Bueno, ese es el sueño de todos los cubanos,
That is my dream of all
la libertad.
to be free.
It's her dream to be free. How many? Has she traveling with anybody here?
¿Viene sola o viene con alguien?
Solo.
And when did she arrive in Mexico?
¿Cuándo llegó a México?
A México llegué el día... A Tapachula llegué el día... Así que 28 de noviembre. 28 o 29 de noviembre llegué.
The 28th or the 29th of November? No, of November, but of last. Of this year. Okay.
She arrived in Tapachula.
In Tapachula, she arrived. Is she aware of what Trump has been saying in the news about immigrants?
¿Ha oído noticias acerca de lo que el presidente americano está diciendo acerca de los inmigrantes?
Últimamente no.
For people who are watching, what would she like people to know?
Para quienes van a ver este reportaje, ¿qué quisiera que ellos supieran? ¿Qué quisiera decirles?
Bueno, yo quiero decirles que lo que pasa, todos pasamos trabajo para llegar aquí, pero por lo menos lo que pasa al inmigrante cubano es muy difícil para conseguir los sueños.
Well, it's hard for everybody to get here, but for Cubans it's very difficult for us to fulfill our dreams.
Do you want to ask anything, or is there anything that you think? Okay. Maybe is there anything that she would like to add that we haven't talked about?
¿Hay algo que quiera agregar que no le hayamos preguntado?
No, solo que para lograr lo que uno quiere tiene que tener una meta y aunque sea difícil y peligroso, tenemos que luchar por ella para poderla cumplir.
That to get what we want in life, we have to have a goal, and even if it's hard or dangerous, we have to do the fight and pursue our dream.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, so Elisa and I were just talking about how we do want to show like some of the conditions here, but we also want to be mindful to not. It is exploitative, and to just be somewhat reflective and mindful of that. But so Elisa and I were just having this conversation, and she said, which is so true, that the U.S. is dealing with a condition that they have created, and Mexico
is dealing with a problem that the American government has created for them, because they're not supposed to be housing asylum seekers. Asylum seekers are not asking asylum into Mexico. They're asking asylum into the U.S. They're just in transit here. And for years, they were given this paper, it's called El Salvoconducto, that allowed them to go through Mexico for 20 days, to be here legally, so that there's a record of them passing through. And now they have to house these people in these facilities, and Mexican volunteers working hard, just as hard as the American volunteers, dealing with this, which was created by the current administration when they started stopping them from asking asylum at the bridges. But you see this, stripping people of their dignity is just, this is not something that America should be doing.
Also, the U.S. role in contributing to the destabilization of governments in Latin America, particularly Central America, participating in military coups, neoliberal economics, undermining their democracies and their
We don't have clean hands in what's happening. And up on the bridge, the pregnant girl, she's from Honduras, and the other woman with her with the 2 children, she's from Nicaragua. And we're not clean.
So we're back right now on the bridge, the B&M bridge, Brownsville, Matamoros, and we're here. These are asylum seekers who are camped out. Elisa from Angry Tias and Abuelas of the Rio Grande Valley is here. She has backpacks, and she has been coming here, before I said every day, but she told me that it's sometimes once a week, sometimes a few times a week. But she recognizes some of the people who are here. One is so there's mothers here and children. There's a pregnant woman who's 20 years old. And so Elisa went and bought some tortillas and some spread to give to people here who are camped out on the bridge. It's been drizzling, so that's why there's umbrellas and there's tents. This is the river, and then you can see that is the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, and across is Texas. And I just want to show you something. So I don't know if you could see this line. This line right here is the boundary. That line is the boundary of the U.S. and Mexico. So Elisa was explaining to me a little bit about the structure of her organization, the Angry Tias and Abuelas. She said it's 11 members. They're very happy with, they, I don't think, are looking for new members. It's a democracy, and it's functioning very well. If you're watching, please check out their Facebook page, Angry Tias and Abuelas of RGV. That stands for Rio Grande Valley. And we're in Brownsville, Texas at the B&M Bridge. If you're watching, please share this stream. And stay tuned. Thank you. Hey folks, so we are back on the U.S. side of the border. We just crossed back into the U.S. here with Elisa Filippone from Angry Tias and Abuelas, who's going to talk to you about what just happened.
So we just crossed back at the gateway, and we learned that only one person has come across to be processed for asylum, a woman from Ethiopia who's been there waiting close to 80 days, and no one else since Thursday afternoon, they told us. At the B&M bridge, the old bridge, we found 10 people allowed up on top of the bridge. There isn't even a cover, and this is the weather. I'm under a tree right now. So they're asking for ponchos and umbrellas. I had packed mittens and hats and bandanas. No need for that right now because volunteers have been bringing it, but they need to stay dry. There are people in flip-flops and socks whose socks just keep getting wet, but we can't get them shoes. So it's ponchos and umbrellas. That's the situation. Actually, I got breakfast from one bridge, and she got breakfast from the other bridge this morning.
People are saying, they're letting in 90 people a day. We know that's not the case.
Well, I don't see those numbers here. At the B&M bridge, somebody crossed 2 days ago also, and that's it.
One person.
Uh-huh.
For people who don't know, they're not even allowed on the bridge, the asylum seekers.
At the
They're placed somewhere else. Can you talk about that process for people who don't know? So like someone from Mexico or Central America or another place is in Mexico, wants to come here to seek asylum at a U.S. port of entry. What is the real process that is not being reported, basically?
Well, it used to be that you could just walk the whole bridge, cross the physical borderline, and then into the American Customs building, and in there, being in American soil, ask for asylum. As of May of this year, 2 or 3 CBP, even up to 4 agents with large arms, with guns, stay at the top of the bridge, and now they have cover. They have heaters. You saw the heaters and all the propane gas tanks there for them to be sort of comfortable. The asylum seekers are on the bridge. At the B&M, it's raining. They're under the rain. At the gateway, for some reason, where there is a cover, they're not allowed on top of the bridge. They're off in what we call camp, where volunteers bring blankets and food and things. There is also such camp at the B&M. If anybody wants to come to seek asylum, so their approach would be to just go to the bridge. Well, they're going to be stopped there. That's what's been happening, and they're going to be denied access, and they're going to be told that what I've heard is to either get on the list or get in line, and then they turn back and they try to figure out whatever system, whatever order is happening at that particular bridge, and it's a different system at each bridge. And also there are other factors, the shelters who pick people up and take them back, or sometimes they say that Mexican immigration agents show up and pick people up. All those dynamics are also happening, and they have to maneuver through them. Volunteers like me either bring breakfast or dinner or things, and just maybe a little bit of uplifting their spirit. I think those tortillas en cajeta that we got, there was a kid who was smiling, and it's just to sustain them there on the bridge, just to keep them.
So for people who want to help your organization and get involved, volunteer, donate, what can people do?
Yeah, if you're here or you're coming, we can always use volunteer. Today I packed 3 backpacks because she's also carrying 2 backpacks, and I didn't have anyone else today. But yeah, you can help. If you speak Spanish, that's even better. We have people at the bus station in McAllen and the one in Brownsville also. TS is present in McAllen, and in Brownsville we have partners, volunteer partners. Team Brownsville is there, and Good Neighbor Settlement Housing is there. So if you want to volunteer, we're opening our arms to you. If you can donate money, we have a Facebook page, Angry Tias and Abuelas RGV, and there's a link to Neta RGV. They have 501c3 status, so it would be tax deductible. If you feel more comfortable, you can write a check to NETA, and on the memo, NGTSN Abuelas RGB. We can give you the instructions if you message us. You could also send things to us. Right now is outerwear, jackets, coats. At the McAllen bus station, we're seeing between 300 and 500 people a day. Most of them, they don't have coats, and they're all traveling north. That is something we need, outerwear. It can be used, of course. So if you just message us through Facebook, and we'll figure out a way that you can help if you want and can help.
Thank you so much. Any last things for people who are watching?
I just want to say this is America. This is what's happening. This is what we're doing, the bad and the good. Something like this, we ought to be able to handle an administrative task, which is what it is, to just process people who are seeking asylum. Some people believe that once they're in, now they got in free and easy. No, now they have to plead their case. Now they have to get a lawyer. Now they have to go through the process. Some people who maybe paid a lawyer and paid a fine for overstaying their tourist visa here think that the people on the bridge are just going to come in and then get food stamps, and no, that's not going to happen. This is going to be months of pleading their case, and they might or might not be granted asylum.
Thank you so much, Elisa, for everything. Thank you. You're watching ACT TV. Please like and share the video, and we'll be back.